I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yep. Well,
what time?
We'll go ahead and start, and that way, if people are hopping on, we can still you can still add them in. I know they know me. I'm Mindy with Brookdale Palma Sola. I have two wonderful ladies that I have known for a long time. I've got Janeen with Pathfinders Downsizing, and she's like the moving fairy. She's like amazing what she can do. I'm always in awe of what she does. And then I have Colleen, and she is what's called a senior real estate specialist. So she already bypassed the real estate title. They upped her title. So she actually works for you. So I'm going to start off, and I think, Janeen, you're taking it over first.
No, Colleen's going to do it first.
Oh, Colleen. Oh, see. Oh, I missed that one. So we're going to start with Colleen. We did a drive-by yesterday on trying to do this, and now we're going to change it up a little. So, okay, take it away, Colleen.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Colleen. As Mindy said, senior real estate specialist with Florida Executive Realty. And today we're just going to do some educational things in helping you feel comfortable when you are ready to transition maybe into a senior community or downsize, and just to make you feel a little bit more at ease. I'm going to go ahead here and share my screen with you. There we go. And kudos to you guys for being on this morning and being proactive in your future. So many times we have seniors that will put it off and put it off and put it off until they're not able to make the decisions for themselves. So kudos to you. Let's get started here. Braden. There we go. All right. So when what I've seen throughout the years in my real estate career is, at least with more of the older senior set, is something's always holding them back from making that decision to maybe move forward and live in a home that better suits their needs now. What we find is they're fearful, and fear is false evidence appearing real. They kind of people will create things in their mind. Well, what if I don't like this? And what if I don't like that? And maybe I'm better here. Really, the fear of change is probably the biggest factor in folks making a decision to change their living accommodations. Fear of the unknown and avoidance of pain. They think it may be painful having to figure all this out themselves. What am I going to do with my stuff? Maybe I'll miss my friends. I mean, that's a sense of pain as well. So fear, which then leads to procrastination. And again, procrastination is the thief of time. If you don't put these decisions and things in place early enough, unfortunately, things happen in this life, maybe an illness, maybe a death of a loved one, and it leads to a point where maybe you can't make the decision for yourself, and someone else is going to have to make the decisions for you, when nobody likes it when someone else makes a decision for us, right? So change, really, it's the known going to the unknown, right? You're comfortable where you are. You have a lot of memories in maybe your home that you've lived in for so many years. All your treasures are there. The house has really served you well in all of these ways. Leaving your neighborhood, like for instance, Carol, you've got your neighbors right there. Leaving your neighborhood you leave your neighbors behind, your friends, and it can be a little bit frightening, but let's keep going. When we're making these changes, we really need to listen to each other. Sometimes it's a couple, and one couple's idea of moving might be, okay, let's go, and the other one may be, no, I don't want to go anywhere. We really need to listen to each other and not just listen, but truly hear how the other one feels in order for this to be a smooth transition. Of course, everyone wants what's best for one another. And we need to respect each other's feelings. If maybe this isn't quite the time yet, okay, maybe come to an agreement. All right, we'll stay for one more year, but we're going to put things in place for when that year is up. We're going to go on and go. Really, really try to listen to understand each other. Okay, put yourself in each other's shoes. You know, would you like to do this? Think about how it's going to affect the other people. Okay. So getting into real estate a little bit more, the state of this market, everyone, I don't know, you know, how involved you are or what you may be seeing on the news, but this market, never before seen in the Tampa Bay, Bradenton area. It is absolutely crazy. Inventory is at an all-time low. I looked this morning on the MLS, just in Manatee County, okay? We had, in the last 7 days, 158 new listings, new homes going on the market, and 344 homes went pending in the last 7 days. What that tells me is there are not enough homes on the market for the number of buyers out there. They're going off the market faster than they're coming on. And I'm telling you this for a reason. When you get to the point of making the move and deciding to put your home on the market, it is going to go within, it's going to sell within minutes, days, but a couple of days at the longest. So just prepare yourself. I'm there for you, but prepare yourself. Historically low interest rates have really charged this up. I think today it's at about 3.125% in interest rates. That's almost free money, folks. The market is crazy. And we're also seeing multiple offers. So not just one person will want to buy your house. We'll have 8 people backed up, all submitting offers, and we need to charge through those and figure out which one best fits your goals. All right. So starting the process, selling your home is a process. You've got to have a plan in place. And I'm here to help you with that plan. What I want to know are your goals, what's important to you, that sort of thing. I'm here to work for you. It doesn't matter to me what my goals are. I'm here to work for you. Okay. So you may not have even thought about it yet. What is important to you in this move? What are your goals? You need to start thinking about those things. And where are you going? You probably need to have something in place. The home is going to sell quickly when it's put on the market. You need to have your plans in place for your next living situation. Okay. We will discuss what needs to be done before the home is listed for sale. Does it need to be cleared out? Do we need to get rid of some things, turn some things over to family? That's where Janeen, who's going to be speaking next, that's where she comes in. We will help you determine what needs to be done. Maybe an air conditioner needs to be fixed or what have you. We'll walk through all those things. What improvements, if any, need to be made? You know, as long as everything's in good working condition and the home is neat and clean and decluttered, I don't think necessarily in this market any improvements need to be made, but we will talk about that. And then what is your home worth? That's a big part of what I do. I do a complimentary comparative market analysis. And what that means is, although I'm not an appraiser, I kind of function as one. I can't give you an appraisal, but I can give you a pretty close estimate of what your house is going to sell for. So the comparative market analysis takes other homes within the area there that are very similar to yours. Maybe it's your house is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a pool. So I look for other homes that have sold within the last 6 months, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths with a pool, about same square footage. And I can see pictures of the home, how they compare to yours, and I can come up with a pretty close range of where your house is going to sell. I'm only going to give you a range. You're in charge. You're going to tell me what you want to get for your home. But from my professional advice, it really should be within that range, okay? And we're going to talk more about that. So there are 3 ways of selling your home, and this is kind of where the condition and improvements come into play. Maybe you say, okay, I'm done. I don't want to do anything. I'm just going to hand the keys over and get out of here. I need to move on to my next home. So you're going to hand over the keys. What you're going to see with this is this is not going to get you the highest price for your home, but it will get you out of the home quickly, okay? You'll probably get investors, wholesale pricing on the house if we just walk away from it, all right? My suggestion would be to fix the defects. Let's say it needs some roof repairs. Maybe you need some plumbing work done. Maybe the HVAC, air conditioning is not working. Kind of put yourself again in someone else's shoes. Would you buy this home in its current condition? If your answer is no, and you want to get more out of your home as far as dollars go, we need to fix the defects. Okay, make sure everything is in good working order. I'm not saying change the countertops and change the cabinets and all that kind of stuff. We just need to make sure it's in good working order. It's clean and neat and not a lot of clutter. So many times people cannot see past other people's things in the home. So we want it to be streamlined, clean, neat. People can see their own things within the house. Okay, and again, Janeen's a great resource for this. And the third way to sell your house would be staging. Cleaning it up. We're going to bring in a stager. We're going to maybe change some cabinets and countertops and carpet and what have you. Guys, in this market, really, really not necessary because things are going so quickly. People don't have enough homes to look at or to buy, and they will take something that you know, they can make and turn into their own. So unless you want huge return, I would say pass on the staging in this market right now. Another market where it's more of a buyer's market, I would say stage it. This is an extreme seller's market and not needed, okay? So I am a seniors real estate specialist. Yes, I'm a realtor. I have my real estate license and I'm a realtor, but I've taken extra training, extra classes, and my business is focused primarily on helping seniors and their families either transition into a senior community like Brookdale, or maybe moving into to live with their family, or downsizing into a smaller home. So my dad passed about 4 years ago or so, and I saw what my mom went through.
Excuse me.
And that's when I said, holy smokes, these folks need an advocate. And that's when I went about and got my seniors real estate specialist designation. And truly my business is focused mainly on seniors. And what we offer is a specialization in real estate to the unique needs of seniors. So like it says up here on the screen, we demand specialists in our health needs, so why not in our housing and equity needs as well? This is the largest investment that you have. It needs to be well taken care of and represented when it comes time to sell. We offer a customized approach to your situation, working to fit your living situation in with your overall life plan. Expertise and patience throughout the transaction. This is a big difference between a general realtor and a seniors real estate specialist. I've had seniors take months up to a year and a half to get ready to make this transition. It is a huge task. It can be very overwhelming, but I understand that it's not the 30-day flip the sale and we're out of here and whatever. It can take months and years, and I work at your pace. I'll keep you on track, but I work at your pace. When you're ready, we'll make the change. All right. We also offer an awareness of options and a network of solid, reliable referrals to help you. Janeen will be up next. Janeen and I work closely. She's a great referral partner for me. She helps with the downsizing or right sizing of your home and helping you figure out what to do with this stuff, because traditionally a senior community is not going to have the square footage that your home does. You can't get, you know, all of your things into a 1 or 2 bedroom unit over at the senior living community. So we also have options like elder care attorneys. You can't just take your home and give it to your kids. An attorney needs to work through that for you. There's huge tax implications if you did that. An attorney can work all those things out for you if you haven't thought of that yet. We're also familiar with POAs, trusts, financial things that affect seniors. So we take all that into consideration when selling the home for you, and work with the title company and that sort of thing with the power of attorneys and such. We also have like a variety of choices to reduce out-of-pocket expenses. Let's say your home really needs a roof and you've been putting that off because you don't have the money readily available to put a roof on. I can work with roofers, put you in touch with them, and some of them will put the roof on for you and wait to be paid until closing and from the proceeds in your home. Okay, so it never comes out of your pocket. It'll come out of the proceeds at the closing, but you don't miss it as much when it comes out of the closing instead of the bank, right? So just a list here of some of the referral partners I work with: reverse mortgage specialists, senior living consultants. I work with a lot of senior community managers and in-home care providers. Maybe your spouse needs some in-home care while we're going through the process of getting the home ready to sell. I work with those people as well. All right. So just again, kudos to you for being here this morning. When it comes time to getting the home ready for sale or getting your mindset that needs to be done, be decisive about it. This little saying, the road is littered with flattened squirrels who could not make a decision. Make the decision, make it for yourself so others don't have to make it for you, and create your own future, okay? I'm here for you. If you're not ready to sell, I certainly understand that. If you're here visiting from out of town and maybe you're just a snowbird, you're thinking about moving to Florida or into a senior community here in Florida, I'm here for you there. You can call me with questions. I am not high pressure. The girls will tell you that. I work with you at your pace, here as a resource for you to answer questions and get you on to living your best life, okay? I'm gonna turn it over to Janeen. She's gonna help you figure out what to do with all the treasures you have, and get moving on to your next adventure, okay? Thanks so much. Janeen.
Here I come. Let's see. Oh, I had it and then I didn't. You know what I mean? Okay, here we go. There we go. Okay. Hi, I'm Janeen. I'm with PathfindersDownsizingSolutions, and we're senior move managers. So we help our clients figure out what on earth, how do I climb this mountain? And so we do this together with you. This is my business partner. Pretty good picture of the two goofy duos, but anyway, that's Renee, and between the two of us, we have over 30 years of experience in senior move management. Her background is in senior health. She was in senior communities like forever, doing what Mindy does, as well as executive director. She has a master's in senior health. My background is interior design and corporate communication. We squished it together 3 years ago. We think it's a God thing because about 3 months after we started this business, we found out that we went to high school together in Atlanta. So it was like, it's it's just meant to be. We have a blast in giving the gift of home, and we love to be able to figure out what exactly your path is. Pathfinders is named after Renee's late husband. He was an Army Pathfinder, so she can bring the widow's perspective. She has been walking that road for 4 years now, and I was the caregiver for my mother-in-law who was a dementia patient. So my kids went from 4 to 84, and I rock and rolled through that chapter of my life. So together we have a team of 8 women that just come in, love on you through the process of being able to figure out what needs to go with you. We pack it up. This is the simple, quick part. We basically shrink you, pack it up, manage the move, resettle you, and quite honestly, that's the magic. Because the day that you wake up and the movers are coming, that night you're sleeping in your bed again at Mindy's community, and the dishes are put away, the pictures are hung, your electronics are working, the bed's made. It's like Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs invaded you, and just, it's magic. It's like an HGTV kind of thing. It's very cool. We do a myriad of things. We always customize our projects because everybody's different, and how we tackle yours is going to be different, order and everything. We work out the logistics of everything. So anyway, and you just don't have to worry about it. We are also part of the National Association of Senior Move Managers. This is a certified program, and we can work with other national members of the NASM team. And basically, so if you say you're a snowbird and you're coming from Michigan or Ohio, because everybody on this coast, those are the only 2 states that can. No, now we're getting New York too, but you know how it is. But anyway, if you've got stuff up there, we can connect with a NASM member up there. They could pack you, and we can resettle. So it's kind of like a relay race. And we still, because we understand how to dance together, we make it a really smooth transition. So it's not overwhelming for you. It's just a communication process for us, and we just figure out how to dance. So in confession, I'm a nerd. Okay, so I go into all this trying to understand why is it so hard to downsize. Well, the easy question is the answer to that is it's mentally, emotionally, and physically slap exhausting. You know, everything you've got in your house, you got it for a reason. Otherwise, it wouldn't be there. You've got some kind of emotional connection, or physically, it might be hard to move, and you're just like, I'm not moving that thing, and it just sits there for 20 years. Or mentally, you just don't know how to process it and give it its order so that you can use it effectively. So we totally get that. And then there's this whole thing that as a senior, you've lived it, you've had that object forever, and you might feel guilty, or maybe it has sat in the corner forever in the box it came in. I know, you know, I've got some guilt with that, and you feel guilty about not taking it with you, about giving it away, or even reselling it, or whatever, because you spent the money on this stupid thing, right? Well, basically, we try and give you the piece to release. We find other avenues that give you the release to let go of it, and kind of readjust your framework. And so we want to help you figure out how to let go and how to make sure that you are right-sizing yourself. So where is all your stuff? Okay, it could be in a lot of different places. You might not have any real stuff, but chances are it looks something like this. We have been in projects where it is crammed in a shed, maybe 2 sheds, every single closet, and then there is the glorious storage unit that's going to be your solution. You know that ain't your solution. And it's just like, and that's what, all of a sudden you decide you're going to move to Mindy's community, and all of a sudden you think about all those places that you've got stuff stored, and it feels like somebody just plopped you in front of the Great Wall of China and said, climb it, sister, or maybe Mount Everest. And it is overwhelming. Your heart starts racing and you're just freaking out, because where do you even start? And that's where we come in. We can back up with you, assess where to go about what tactically we need to go into it, and create a plan that can be executed by a team and get you to the destination you want to be at. So it's going to require pivot. Did you guys ever watch the episode? Did you ever watch Friends? You ever watch Friends? Okay, there's one episode where they're moving, and Ross and one of the other guys is trying to shove a sofa up a flight of stairs, and they're, anyway, so he yells out pivot like 500 times, and it just makes me laugh. But we've got to pivot our hearts and our heads, as well as look at the project in a micro way and macro. So from kind of a bird's eye view, as well as the individual items too. So we help you through that process. We also understand that at the root of all of this, the reason we're wanting to pivot is because we know intellectually as well as in our hearts that happiness is where we want to get to. We want to release all of the frustration and the overwhelming feeling we have, because we have so much responsibility on us to take care of the house, to take care of the lawn, the pool, all the repairs and the maintenance. And a senior community allows you to let that superfluous stuff go. Sit back. Mindy's going to bring you a drink every day at 4 o'clock with an umbrella.
Oh, wow.
And it's going to be awesome. Okay. And so letting go of some of that stuff. You have gotten to the point of your life that you just don't need to be fussing with that. So let's get, basically let's put some happy on. But we all know that happiness is rooted in gratitude. I did this thing where it was like, I got, oh, hang on. It's just right here. Hang on. Adding machine tape like this, and gave myself a challenge of listing the things that I was grateful for. I tried to whack off about maybe 20 a day or something like that. And my challenge was going to be to fill this thing. I should have kept up with it, but I got to about 1,000. And then, I don't know, somebody called on the telephone and interrupted the whole process. But, it's like, if you're happy, you just, everything just rolls off a little better. And it always seems to be rooted in gratitude. We also have, I told you I was a nerd, so we also have a happiness set point. And that's basically when something happens that kind of sets you back, how quickly can you resume that sense of happy again? And so that little pie chart there, they say scientifically that 50% of your happiness set point is determined by genetics. You can blame it on your mama, okay? 10% is based on the circumstances. How big or how significant is the setback? Is it a loss of a spouse or some other tragic situation? Or is it just you got a hangnail and you need a Band-Aid? So it's all relative. But 40% of this is based on your intentional behavior, which means you can change it. You can decide as to whether or not you're going to be happy and what you're going to do to get yourself happy if you're in that slump and in that place. The other thing that we want to, in order to do this, we want to change our language. If we change our language, it's like, oh yeah, I'm downsizing, I'm letting go of all my stuff. Change your framework. Change it to, you know what? Stand up straight. I am progressing myself. I am evolving. I am converting myself from a big, huge house to something that's small and manageable for me because of what I envision my lifestyle to be in my next chapter. I'm developing. We are constantly developing, even in later chapters of life. To give up on developing just seems so sad. I'm kind of a lifelong learner, and I hope everybody, but if you get this many decades on you, that you also have that thirst to learn and experience new things. And so we're always renovating ourselves. So how that kind of all comes together is basically by changing your language. So I suggest that you change it to right sizing, adjusting it from not so much downsizing, because that's down is kind of like a bummer word. So we'll just say right sizing, and then you can kind of reframe everything. right sizing has so many ROIs, or return on your investment. You can socialize easier. You can, and it was awesome. You guys, by the way, Carol, you get 3 gold stars today alone because you marched across the backyard with computer in hand and you grabbed 2 friends and y'all jumped in on this call. It is awesome. But
Thank you.
You've got that go-getter. You are never going to stop. I can tell that a senior community, you're going to be large and in charge. You're going to be the queen of the whole place. I can tell you now. But you can engage in new hobbies when you're there. You've got the time and the freedom to do it. And they have all the support there with amazing department heads that help you with, you know, exercise therapy and activities directors. You can hop on a bus. You don't have to fuss with, you know, car maintenance and all that kind of stuff. You get to travel when you want to. It's so cool. We'll get past COVID. We'll just, you know, we're almost there. We can see the light now and it's so much better. But I encourage you, stay in the driver's seat. And I can tell, Carol, you're a driver. So that's awesome because you're going to be able to keep the schedule that you want. You can envision the activities, picture yourself in Mindy's community or any senior community. For just picture yourself in that shrunken, that's not the word I wanted, but just a more right-sized, in a more right-sized environment, in a more right-sized lifestyle. And it's just, the air is lighter. The air is lighter. So, but there are fears associated with it. Colleen was talking about it, and fear and all that kind of stuff. It all kind of freaks us out. But you know what? We've all been there before. Fear is the same. It's that same energy in yourself. It's the same energy as, remember when you walked into kindergarten, it was maybe it was the first day of being a new kid in school. You're trying to figure out where the heck the end of the lunch line is. And you got that tray with you and you're trying to figure out if the lunch lady's going to throw the beans at you or the mashed potatoes. And you got to, you know, all of those things. And it's like, you're nervous, but it's the same kind of energy. So you've got plenty of experience of being nervous, and you can, you know, you can just channel yourself. It's like when they handed your baby to you the first time. Maybe you'd never babysat before, and all of a sudden you got the responsibility of a child, or your wedding day, or, you know, even traveling to a new place. All that fear is the same energy. So we just recognize it, acknowledge it, and then move from there. So what do you do about all that stuff that's stuffed in your storage units in your closets? You know, if it's not serving you, then it's not serving anybody else in those locations. So if we can kind of peel the onion and figure out, will that serve me going forward, or is it time for me to let go? And how, then from there, how can I let go and not feel guilty? That's really the answer, because most people don't. They know their kids don't want their stuff, but in a real sense, they don't want their stuff either, but they feel guilty about letting go of it because they feel like they're being wasteful. So here's a nerd fact. Did you guys ever watch Little House on the Prairie?
No.
Yes. Okay. Right? And I remember as a kid, we watched Little House on the Prairie all the time, and Ma Ingalls made Laura 2 dresses, and they were like, you took care of those dresses. Pa passed his suit down to the son who passed it down. And I mean, those suits last forever, right? And then fast forward, I guess, I don't know when the series came out, but you remember Happy Days and the Fonz, right? And all of the things that were going on, there were cars, there were jukeboxes, there were dances, there was, those booths that everybody sat in at the malt shop, and there were malt shops. There was electricity, for Pete's sakes. I mean, on and on and on. Do y'all realize that the difference in the span of years between Little House on the Prairie and Happy Days was 80 years. 80 years. Now, when I was crisscross applesauce watching Little House on the Prairie and Happy Days, I was thinking to myself, oh my God, you might as well, like, I was equating that to like close to a millennial or 300 or 400 years, right? Now that I'm older, 80 years is like nothing. And it all has to do with manufacturing, industrial revolution, trade deals with China, blah, 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 that I can go, geopolitical issues and all that kind of stuff. And I could go on with that forever too. But the idea, basically the deal is with stuff, the Industrial Revolution just exponentially just crushed us into going into something super fast with a lot of content and a lot of stuff. So basically, that's why we're so overwhelmed with the stuff, is because we've just collected so much of it so fast. So basically, when you're looking at your stuff, if you can find peace to release, and if you can find a way to be grateful for the experience you had with this stuff and understanding that it served you for the moment, it's not going to serve you going forward, that helps you to get some peace. So how do you do that? Well, we do it because we always have a complimentary consultation. And when we come, we take tons of pictures because I can't remember it all. So we take pictures and we take measurements of the contents that you make the most sense, or that we basically the furniture contents that we need to take pictures of, so that we can do a floor plan for you. We look at it very evidence-based. So we take, say, Mindy's floor plan for whatever model you're interested in, and put your furniture in that space to make sure that it's going to fit. That if you've got extra equipment now with walkers and wheelchairs and canes and oxygen tanks or whatever, or if you're anticipating that, we're going to make sure that you've got the space to move around in, and everything, but it still feels like home. That is that's our big push, is that even though it might be a smaller space, it feels like home, because we've identified those things that just touch your heart, that mean something. We've moved fireplaces before, we have moved china cabinet full of all the china, because that's what meant home to our clients for whatever reason. And as a third party, we're not here to judge you as far as what you want and what you want to take, as long as it's safe and it feels like home. And those are the things that we're gonna ask. We moved a lady one time, she had a beautiful condo in a really swanky part of Tampa, and it was about 3,000 square feet, and it was full of art. Art was her thing. And we moved her because she needed memory care. So we moved her from 3,000 square feet to 300 square feet. That is like a significant shrink. Her husband, such a sweet guy, and he did not want to be without his girl, and he moved with her to memory care, but he didn't need it, okay? Luckily, they have very large, tall ceilings, 9-foot ceilings in their apartment. And we were able to gallerize the art that she picked out, which was probably about 150 pieces of art. And we gallerized it, making it bumper to bumper to bumper to bumper. We wrapped a wall with it. It went around the corner. And we made the composition so it looked amazing with her furniture. The installation was complex and it was time consuming and stuff like that. But when she came back in to get the reveal, she walked in and she's just a little, the little tiny ladies that we work with, we call them Polly Pockets, because you just could fit them in that little pocket there on your shirt. But anyway, this little Polly Pocket walked in and she looked sideways and she goes, "Oh, I'm home. There's all my stuff." She knew exactly where her home was. The sweet husband that was coming with her looked at that stuff and goes, "Is that ours? I didn't recognize that." So who was supposed to be in memory care? But it was awesome, because if it's art, we don't care how much art you take with you, because it's on the walls, it's safe. Nobody's going to trip over that. I'm a safety nerd, so I get a little bit nervous about tripping hazards. But this is how we start with the floor plan, to make sure that we're using evidence-based to turn it from what was to something like this. So here is a typical, how we kind of shrink it down. It's still really homey. She's got the art. This particular lady, really, she had a lot of art. And you see how in this top left-hand corner, this little piece here that I'm kind of circling around, that was really, really important to her, but we tucked it out of the way so it wasn't going to be a tripping hazard. All those things. So she felt like she was home. Okay. It also helps efficiently with the efficiency of the move-in, because everybody knows where the stuff's going, and the movers can physically come in, plop it into position, and keep going. And so then I want to talk about Project Good Works. So there's still, okay, so if I go back, ta-da, you've moved in, but there's still a house full of stuff on the other end that you didn't take with you. What do you do with that? So we have a program, well, I'll back it up. Most people may or may not have a house full of remarkable furniture. Renee and I feel very strongly that we do not sell our clients stuff. It's a conflict of interest. Morally and ethically, we just don't do it. But we do have referral partners that is their lane. They know exactly what they're doing, and they can get you, they can execute that part of the project very efficiently, very effectively, and at your top dollar. So we would refer, if it's an estate sale, if that's the solution, we refer that off. But then there's sometimes that maybe you've got, for instance, Corelle dishes, and a client's maybe move into assisted living and they don't need 3 sets of dishes, they just need a little bit. What do you do with that remnant? And that's what, for those smaller household things that could bless somebody and really aren't going to drive an estate sale over the top to be top dollar. That's where Project Good Works comes in. So Project Good Works is just kind of, I don't know, a division, an arm of our company, and it's kind of acts like a nonprofit, but technically it's not a nonprofit, but it's a network that we've developed of small nonprofits that are in the geographic area throughout the Tampa Bay market that we connect with in order to bless. And these are all nonprofits that are not a big box. We could call a big box donation center and cross our fingers really tight and hope that they come pick it up, because post-COVID is a whole nother animal. But they're smaller nonprofits that are ministering to people that are trying to get up on their feet or get back on their feet. Okay, so foster care, human trafficking, domestic violence, veterans, lots of veterans, pets and animal associations. And so this one picture that you see with all of the kids and stuff like that, this was a table from one of our clients, and you can see that sucker is huge. It could seat 14. These two mamas that are in the picture, they were raising together, they're foster parents, and they raised together 10 kids. Ugh. Those kids they were feeding them before they got this table. They were feeding them on 3 separate tables in their house. They were able to be blessed by this dining room table, and now everybody can gather together as family and have dinner, have breakfast, and have lunch together. I called Elaine, our client, about 4 days after this transaction had happened. And I said, hey, Elaine, how many times did you have that Norman Rockwell thing going on, you know, with the turkey and everybody's gathered and you filled that table? And she goes, maybe 5. And you can tell I could tell from the design of the space or the table and chairs and the construction of it that it was built like in the 70s. Okay. Rock solid, like a brick house. It was heavy as all get out. And I said, well, you know what? Now, every single day, 3 times a day, there's probably going to be spilt milk. There's going to be macaroni crammed in the cracks. There's probably a food fight breaking out on one end of the table or another. And she looked at me and she said, isn't it awesome? And that's exactly what our clients do. They make a difference in the community so that these foster care kids have home. The top right hand, this one with the 2 legs in it, this 2 prosthetic legs. Last summer, we found 3 prosthetic legs in a closet that we were helping a client. And we didn't expect that, but his older uncle had lived with him before he passed away, and these were his uncle's legs. So you never know what's going to be in your closet, right? So we were able to connect with a nonprofit that remake legs for people that obviously need them. Since they were articulating, they could take those knee joints and customize them back into another leg for another person. They value the I said, I guess each one of those legs are valued at $70,000 a piece. By the time you customize it to the person, build it, train the person to use the leg, they're each worth $70,000. And that's what our clients, they had no need for it. What are you going to do with a prosthetic leg that was for Uncle Sam? You know what I mean? It's like, but we were able to peel that back and determine to find there's got to be an organization. And we knew of the organization that would come in and do that. So those are the kinds of things, and just the connectivity in the community, constantly building that to find resources that are geographically smart, so that people can be blessed going forward. So that's Project Good Works, and it's an awesome solution for what the stuff is. So here's just kind of a list of all the different things. We found golf balls one time in a closet that we didn't even know that there was a closet in the room, honestly. We get to this closet and it's 3 feet high in golf balls. What the heck are you going to do with all of that? But we found a nonprofit that teaches inner city kids how to play golf. Boom, we're good. We even, that same client had carpet squares in his garage, a stack of like 30 carpet squares. What the heck? But we got that to a homeless coalition that was able to put, you could slide a carpet square in your buggy if you were homeless, and you'd have something between your keister and the dirt. What a difference that makes in order for them to feel more whole. So those are the kinds of initiatives that we work with in order to really bless the stuff, so that our clients don't feel guilty. They're having an amazing impact. You can go on and on. We cry all the time over the things that our clients are able to bless people with. It's so cool. So here's my quote for procrastination. Procrastination is the arrogant assumption that God was going to give you a chance to do something in the future that he called you to do today, which, we're all busted of that. We are all guilty and everything, but I am so impressed that you guys are here taking this first step just to participate with us in what you're doing and considering moving to a senior community, because the rest of it will come easy. Just taking that heart change is what it is absolutely all about. We absolutely love to give the gift of home. And if there's any questions, if you guys have questions now, like open it up, tell us what you got.
Those kind of cost.
Hmm?
Oh,
no one even-
We
yeah,
have to
right.
discuss that, right?
Not really, that we can think of right now.
No.
Well, I heard you say something with regards to cost, and that's why the cost is everybody has a different, everybody's pet elephant is a different size, and it kind of feels like you've got a pet elephant. How big is everything that has to be divvied up and done, right? Your to-do list. So we always give a complimentary consultation that allows us to kind of assess what the project is. And we give we're very, very transparent. When we do our proposal to you, we break it down into stages. And stage 1 may have A, B, and C on it. And stage 3 may have D, E, and A on it, just depending on what it is. And it can be remixed in lots of different ways to come up with the solution as far as specifically for your project. That being said, that allows you to kind of look at it and see what our plan is. We can adjust it. And your families could be involved. So they could say, because a lot of times they got their own lives too. And they might look at it and say, oh, Mom, I can take care of the donations for you. I'll run those to the donation place. That's no problem. They can't just assume this huge project all on their own. But we can come in and they can take a portion of it. But because we understand what the full scope is and what has to be done, say before you sell the house and the real estate deals going down with Colleen, we know what the hard out is as far as your deadlines go. We're going to get you across the finish line. We're going to be able to make sure that it all happens, even if somebody that promised you to do that they would do something isn't able to do it. We're happy to do that, because we only charge for our time. So we give you a really good idea as to what we think it's going to be, and then and on the same time, if it turns out to be less, we're cool with that. We just charge for our time. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you.
Any other questions?
For either of
Colleen,
us?
how long do you think the market's going to stay as it is?
6 months.
Yeah, the market needs to make a correction. It has been going and going and going, and it will make a correction. I think interest rates are ticking up right now. They were down around 2.6-ish. We're up to 3.1. I think as interest rates climb, the market will begin to slow a little, but we don't see any huge corrections coming for quite a while yet.
Colleen, do you think,
yes, ma'am.
that, are you seeing a huge influx from the northern states in addition
Absolutely.
to, because they want to get out of the blue states?
Yeah, it's funny you asked that. There was a meme out there and it said, Florida Realtor of the Year, Cuomo. Absolutely. The influx of people is really quite amazing. Prior to this, 1,000 people a day are moving to Florida. I don't know what the new number is, but it's got to be close to double that. I have so many calls from people up north, so many people coming, which doesn't help our inventory situation. There's just not enough homes to sell people. The builders can't keep up with inventory homes either, so it's a mess. But for sellers, it's fabulous.
Question.
Yes, sir.
Can't hear you.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you, hon.
They're not just moving because of the
There you
cold
go.
weather.
No, they're tired of being up north.
I think,
Shutdowns.
yeah, exactly. The cold weather, at least here in Florida, we've been shut down some, but we're able to be outside. These folks have been locked in their houses for so long, and I think they're just over the whole situation. And we're seeing a huge influx, more than normal, of people coming down.
I was on a call a couple of weeks ago it was a national convention call, and there were people from Washington State and California and everything. I hope this is not glitching, but it seems like it's glitching in me. But
No, you're good.
anyway, they knew that I was from Florida, and the other people that were participating from Florida, and they were so excited because the restaurants were open to 25% that weekend, and they were going to get to go to a restaurant.
Yep.
And they were going to try that out for the first time since March of last year.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something that being in Florida, we don't have any concept of what the rest of the country has done. And they have literally been strapped to their chair, binge watching Netflix, eating popcorn and bonbons for the last freaking year. I mean,
yeah, we don't have nearly the isolation.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. We have a lot less isolation here in Florida than a lot of other people have felt in the northern states. So count our blessings, right?
Yeah.
And
We still avoid
We
restaurants.
still haven't been inside a restaurant.
We've been on the
yet.
outside of restaurants, but not on the inside. I did
Exactly.
yesterday, I did inside.
Yeah, and that's great. I think eating outside at a restaurant is a huge blessing that we have here in Florida that others can't enjoy. So absolutely. And just to answer your question about the market, I don't, and my broker doesn't foresee any crash like we saw in 2008 heading our direction by any means. That was unbelievable. I hope we never see it again. But the market will slow eventually. And I just mean slow. I don't mean drop off the cliff. Yeah.
I have a question. What about the market for assisted living facilities like Brookdale or what have you? Now that must be going up because people are getting the price for their home that they want now, and they feel they could afford to go into senior living.
Well, and I also think
And senior living is taking advantage of the people knowing that they have money in their pockets now and they're coming to the senior living.
no, they don't. One thing with senior living is the prices, when they do a yearly annual increase across the board, it is actually based on economy, but it's also based on Social Security. So it's not to price gouge. But right now, our prices are still very low compared to what they normally are because everybody took a hit from the pandemic. And now I am moving people in. I mean, our business picked up so busy since January 1. Because
The window is starting to close on that.
right, and the sad thing is the isolation has got to a lot of people where now our residents are in the dining room. They're able to be isolated together, but you have people to socialize. Like right now, you three can talk and actually socialize, but what if you couldn't? I mean, it's hard. The isolation's tough.
Thanks to you, Mindy.
I know.
We are all vaccinated.
I know.
Yeah, right, we're all vaccinated, yay.
But it does make a difference. I mean, Brookdale, we're getting ready to start reopening a little at a time. We're doing more outdoor things. We're doing things, but we're still protecting our residents. We're kind of like what you're doing. We can do events, but our events have to be outdoors. We still have to be 6 feet apart. We still want to keep them safe because there's still people that are coming in. We're getting a lot of people from out of state coming in, and we're trying to get them vaccinated. So I am glad you guys got vaccinated because it's kind of tough right now finding people to do that. There's a curve. But I do see a fluctuation. I would say in the next 3 months, senior livings are opening up even more and people are realizing they can't do it at home. They need that help. And it's nice to have someone cooking, cleaning, doing the laundry.
Mm-hmm.
So
My boys are very happy to know that I have been looking so that they don't have to make a decision. That I
that's the
will make
number one
decision.
thing. Don't put that on adult children. It is the most stressful time of their life. If you at least have ideas of where you want to go, that'd be me here, right here. As long as you know where you want to go, it takes a load off the adult children. It is a night and day difference.
There's a book called Swedish Death Cleaning, and I know that the title is kind of the pits because that's not very positive, but basically the premise, the woman that wrote it was somewhere between, she said, I'm between 75 and 100. But she looked at it and her, she's Swedish, and she was looking at it like, these are my things that I've collected and I have acquired throughout my lifetime. And this is my responsibility to take care of the decisions as to where they're going to have their next life. And it's not my kids' responsibility, it's my responsibility. And so even if it's just those things that aren't serving me anymore, I let go of, but those things that I want to hang on to and I'll say bequeath, then I give the instructions so that my kids know what to do with it. And they're not, you know, in the midst of grief, they're not also trying to figure out what to do with this stuff and overwhelmed by that process. And even though that's not, you know, we're talking about a chapter your next chapter is a chapter to be lived. There is this, you know, when it comes to the stuff, there's that superfluous stuff that isn't serving you anymore. And that's part of the reason to like stay in the driver's seat and make those decisions on your own, because ultimately, and as you know, that it is our responsibility to take care of our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, or it should be. And
Do we have a lot of stuff? That is the number one thing I get from families is they can't move because they have too much stuff.
Absolutely.
So it does feel, I had a lady, I always like to share the story with people. I had a lady in the Midwest she moved from about a 6,000 square foot home with more furniture than she got rid of 2 golf carts, golf clubs, everything. She lived on a big country club golf course. She got rid of everything in her garage sale. Like, I think she sold the golf carts for $50 because she was done. She comes and lives in my new community that we had there, and I could tell she was nervous getting rid of it. After about a month, she came to me and gave me a hug and said, I feel the biggest relief off my shoulders. She goes, I didn't realize how my stuff was weighing me down. She goes, I'm a new woman And she, even to this day, is still there doing amazing, beautiful apartment. She took the pieces she loved. But you know what? Now it proves that we can do away with her stuff, because I saw her stuff. I didn't know. We went through some anxiety on her stuff if she could live without it, but she didn't. So we know it can be done. It's when you're ready. Not everybody's ready at the same time.
Hang on, just
Bought
so
a house now, and she has 3 storage units to put the stuff in because she can't fit it in the house.
He says his daughter has 3 storage units.
Oh my
So
goodness.
she downsized. Now she has 3 storage units, and she doesn't know what to do with it. But yet she wants to keep it.
But what is she keeping it for?
Right, it's not
Right.
serving.
Who wants to be paying that kind of
If you
money?
ask her to retrieve something, forget about it. She can't retrieve it.
And then
It
you have
may
that-
take days before she can retrieve
And then you
what
have
she's
that-
looking for.
Cost every month.
Right.
So she's paying
So if you-
maybe $300 a month just to store the stuff.
So if you take that $300 a month and then what the annual costs on that, is it even covering the value, the sale value,
That's
the
right.
market value of the stuff that's in the
That's
trailers?
right. Yeah.
We just finished, last month, we finished a project because we also do extreme content. There's shows about that, but we won't do biohazard projects, but we do extreme content. And this gentleman was doing this because his mom passed away 20 years ago. His dad passed away a couple of years ago. He has an older brother that was a special needs individual, and the brother lived with the dad until the dad passed away, and then the brother continued to live in the house. Because of the trauma that was in the house, this house turned into basically kind of a mogul situation. The dad was an attorney, and so we brought home all the paperwork from the clients, and it literally looked like moguls, 4 and 5 feet high moguls of paper through this entire house. And it was about 2,400 square feet, 2-story. And we had to only send 2 people in the first day because they literally had to cut a trail in for the rest of the squad to get there the next day. We spent 8 dumpsters full of stuff, in addition to shredding and all of that kind of stuff, because we literally had to go through every single piece of paper, because it could have been an identity or a legal document or trust information, etc. We were able to we recovered over $13,000 in cash that his parents had squirreled into this book and that book. Found gold doubloons that had been missing for decades that he knew that his dad had acquired. We found 2 Rolex watches. I mean, on and on. And so this son, that was the youngest son, that was charged to do this because his older brother was not able to, mentally be able to do this. He was also an attorney. And the change in the 14 days, we're still kind of tying up the last little bits of it, but he was able to, once we kind of cleared it out and got the content organized for him, he saw things that he hadn't seen in decades. And he was able to, we opened the house up. He wanted to open the house up and change the legacy, because the legacy, where your heart is when you're in an environment like that, is huge. And he wanted to change his family's legacy. And so he opened the doors for nonprofits that we help and connect with. So foster care kids came, not the kids, but the families, the foster families came in to get items that could be useful for them and take those away. And so he was able to bless that. And there was still such a huge estate left that he was able to do an estate sale deal. We found over 24 guns that were squirreled away in nooks and crannies as well. So he was able to sell those things as well. His disposition, his physical posture changed. When we first started working with him, he was so slumped and tight in his chest. It was literally like he was trying to carry that dang house with him every step of every single day that he was walking around. And now he's like, the weight off my heart and off my shoulders is so significant because of letting go of that stuff and not being burdened by that. I can't even put it into words. And he is so much happier. And again, you know, this should have been his dad's responsibility, but the brokenness of his father couldn't get him past that. And, you know, so, I mean, everybody has a different life that they lead and stuff like that. And we don't come to it like in judgment or trying to, you know, just trying to find that peace to release it so you can find a next chapter that is fulfilling and, you know, just rich and engaged with, you know, your peers as well as adventures and stuff like that, you know, that the senior living community that scenario can give you, that, you know, the burdens of house management really can't sometimes. So anyway, but it was a significant witness to see that for him. We were delighted, just delighted.
I think we need to be talking to Mindy some more in the next weeks and months.
Just
Awesome. Where are you
kudos
guys located down there?
Village Green.
They
Village
are
Green.
really close to us.
Yes, we're about 5 minutes away
Oh, yeah,
from
we're
where
very,
Mindy is.
Very, very
Oh,
close.
awesome. Okay.
It's so smart, you guys, to be thinking ahead and planning. Kudos to you.
Absolutely.
I tell people it's like climbing a mountain. I don't know about you, but you can't climb a mountain in one day. You got to do it in little steps, and there's a process. That's where it's not just me. That's where Janeen comes in. That's where Colleen comes in. You have people that actually work for you to help you get to that next stage and transition. And I'll tell you what, senior living has a lot to offer because you don't have to worry about, did I pay all the bills? Did I do all that? It's one thing you pay. It covers everything. They're still not letting me move in yet. They said I've got to wait a few more years. I'm trying. I'm like, you're going to cook for me? You're going to clean for me? And doing my laundry? Sign me up. I want to be here. But they said no. So I'm here enough. You'll always see me, but you know, we will definitely talk, Carol. And if you would like any information from Colleen or Janeen, I know I've got your information, Carol, and I can get everyone else's. I think I have the email. But anything, if you want them to reach out, at least it's free to just talk to them. We're not pushing anything. We just want to help families.
Well, thank you very much for the information. And the one thing I would like to do is I don't remember ever getting plans. You know what the apartments all look like. That would be something I would like to see.
Okay, and we've got floor plans. I don't like showing our floor plans because some of them don't match. We've got large apartments that we don't have floor plans. This isn't, and you know, this building's been here a while, so that's where Janeen comes in and helps.
Well, I will hook you up. We will make an appointment. I'll come down and, you know, we'll make an appointment and I'll do field measurements so that you have accurate floor plans.
Let's do some fun, right? That will help you ladies as well, because what it is so this building, when Brookdale took over, it was at one point only studios. Well, couples, families, ladies that had a lot of stuff wanted a larger apartment. So we took all different size studios and made these big 1-bedrooms where we have a living room, a bedroom, 2 bathrooms, 2 closets, but none of them match what my floor plans say.
Gotcha.
So we'll let Janeen help us. And then what we'll do is like I said, we're reopening. So maybe next month you guys can come in. We'll do a visit. I'll show you. I'm a visual. You have to see it to understand what it looks like. I can show you an empty, and I know Janeen will say, you can see an empty apartment, and then I show you one furnished, and they don't even, it's so different how much furniture I can put in these apartments.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
And I help, I'm also, my background, I used to be in real estate, so I used to stage. So I can, I had a, it was so cute. I had a daughter and son moving their mom in. And they were struggling. They were struggling with placement, and they wanted me to come in. And I looked at the apartment and I said, can I move some stuff to help you? Within a few minutes, I rearranged everything, and they were like, wow, that looks so much better. But it's because they don't see what I see every day. I've seen our apartments. I have ladies that we can show you their apartments already set up, and they have their favorite items. It's beautiful. So I'll help you with that, Carol.
Okay.
Very good.
Okay. Well,
I'll
thank
take
you,
you up
Rick.
on that, Janine.
And I thank you all for your information today.
Yes, thank
Appreciate
you
it.
for your time.
Thank you for attending. I knew this was a time. I got 5 emails while I was doing this that said they were trying to get on, but they had something come up. So I understand. We can't always get everyone, but as we do this, it's educating people, and that's what I
Right,
want.
exactly.
Very informative.
Right.
Hey, Mindy,
And thank you so much, Mindy,
I
for
have
the
a question.
vaccines.
Tony
you're
has-
welcome.
Tony has a question for you.
Yes,
take an example like where you're at, Brookdale.
yes.
Is there a entrance fee to live there?
So we are not a buy-in. We are strictly a community fee. The difference with Brookdale is we have a one-time community fee of $2,500. You'll never pay it again. However, you can transfer. So say you want to move up where the kids are. If there's a Brookdale, you can move anywhere
There is.
west with that fee transfers. A lot of places don't.
I was out of Brookdale in Pennsylvania, independent living for about 6 months before I decided I want to make Florida my home. And it worked out fine.
If you've already paid it, you won't pay it with me. Done.
It was an independent living. I paid on a monthly basis, and that covered everything. And
Okay.
there was no initiation fee. There was no thousands of dollars you had to give them or nothing.
Right. So the
Why I'm saying that,
yeah.
I think for older people,
Mhm.
I think it's better that way. If you're younger and you want to give a lump sum of money to take care of the rest of your life, because my life isn't like it would be your life. Your potential life is another 30, 40 years. I'm looking at tomorrow, maybe 5 years. Okay.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I am not, and people don't want to hear it, but I am not a fan of buy-ins at certain ages in your life. It doesn't.
Right.
Because,
That window is closed for me.
right, and Colleen's going to agree, because the first thing, and I'll give you an example. I have a man I've been working with. He was going to move in here, the smallest studio with everything he needed. And he decided to go to a community where he paid $57,000 entrance fee.
That's crazy.
He wasn't even at $25,000. And I go, so what did you get? And he goes, well, I got an apartment. I got some things. And I go, what do you own? I don't. I go, so you just paid someone this much money and you don't have anything really to show for it, because tomorrow you could be gone and you get that money back.
I hope you die in 4 years because it could start over again.
Exactly. So I don't know. I'm not the fan. I've seen it. It's big in the Midwest. It's really huge in Illinois and Indiana. Here, there's a few places. It's just not for me. I'll tell you, you know what? If you're going to do that, stay in your home. At least you got the real estate at that point.
Exactly. Exactly.
So right.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Right.
So, and our goal is always, you know, even in senior living, you stay in your home until you're ready. We don't make you make that transition. We don't tell you when that time is. You know when the time is. But if you start talking to Janeen, that gives you that, okay, let's start working on that stuff, because that is your number one thing that usually holds you from moving in. And then, well, let's talk to someone about selling the house. What do we need to do? That's when Colleen comes in. Me, I'm just the easy person. I'm just going to tell you like it is.
And to your point, stay in your home, you know, instead of doing the buy-in thing, but only stay in your home if it's a safe place to be.
Exactly.
If it's functioning for you and it's safe, but once things maybe take a turn and it's not, safe anymore, you need to think about.
You know, and that's,
Before those interest rates go up and you can't get much.
Yes, right, exactly.
well, and
Thank you.
The other thing too is that, you know, by starting to peel the onion a little bit and getting rid of the stuff, you can, even in a non-seller's market, you can still sell the house without it being staged and without it having content in it. So the matter of, you know, getting rid of the superfluous stuff that's not serving you anymore, start that process, because I tell you, it just makes, then if something does happen, God forbid, but if something does happen and you have to expedite it, then at least that room's not, you're not dealing with the guest room or that junk room or whatever, and you kind of peeled back the onion a little and it's less overwhelming. And honestly, once you kind of start that ball rolling, you get momentum, and it's easier, and doing it with someone that holds you accountable and kind of as a team to support you and has the resources to get it gone. So it's just not sitting in the garage then waiting to be donated. Poof, it's gone. That gives you traction and momentum as well. So
Right.
great. Thanks, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Appreciate your information.
Thank you.
Have an awesome day.
Be in touch.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Take
Okay,
care.
thanks, Mindy.
Very well. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Bye.
Thanks, ladies.